Welcome to the lighter side of the dark side. It's your weekly freak show here on Renegade Radio and iHeartRadio and all of our podcast catchers. It's a Dark Mark show. It's our 8th anniversary special. And that's not April Fools. April 1st, 2013, this whole thing got started. We're still going in cyberspace on Zoom. I'm Dark Mark, the goth comedian, and I have not one but the two co-hosts today. It looks like one is a guest, but my co-host, everybody's favorite horror writer, Nicole Six.
Yay! Hello. Hey.
And of course, Hannah said something, so we didn't get to see the kiss. Go ahead and do the kiss again, Nicole.
Hello.
There we go. The
do that Bardic kiss.
Yeah, I'm gonna,
slow turn, the sultry look, and
I'm going to say it. This is the earliest I've ever said it on the show, but Zoom sucks. I hate Zoom. Zoom sucks. I say it every show, but it's usually towards the end. And we have one of our former co-hosts on the show. She just she was a co-host up until a couple months ago, and I guess she missed it so much. She's back. She's Bakk. Hannah Bakk.
Hi.
To her own podcast, Vegans Uncensored.
Yeah. And we are also now on YouTube as well.
Right. We're going to talk about that. And I was trying to figure out who to have as a guest. I was thinking of somebody, and Josie Cat was supposed to be on the show today. Unfortunately, there's a work conflict, and she was not able to come on. She says happy anniversary. She says hi to everybody. But I said, who is the guest that has been on with all of our co-hosts, Josie, Hannah, and Nicole, and is an A+ guest and is always great. And a few names came to mind, but the one that went to the top, star of American Horror Story Apocalypse, which I finally saw, American Story Freak Show, which I saw before. By the way, I had all sorts of makeup on. It's sweating into my eyes, so I will not have no makeup at the end of the show. But she's also, I watched her movie Chimera Strain this week. She was also Dead Squad. She's actress, the world's tallest model, and our friend Amazon Eve.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me on, Dark Mark.
It's been too long since you've been on.
We'll call you Santa Mark here pretty soon.
Apparently I'm Santa Mark.
or Dark Santa.
This is why I want to dye my hair back to black, Hannah.
Well, Grandpa says that you can't call yourself Dark Mark anymore. It has to be White Mark.
Right, which is my real name, Mark White. Right. This is gonna be fun. Before we get started, I want to thank our sponsors real quick. Raze energy drink. I love energy drinks, as all of you know, and I found the best. I've tried them all. Now I have found the best, not just because they sponsor our show, but the most delicious energy drink. You can't find them at 7-Eleven. You can't find them in the supermarket. They have them at gyms, GNCs, and this is the best part: 0 calories, 0 carbs, 0 crash. And this is our Baja Lime, their Baja Lime flavor. It's like Baja Blast. It's Taco Bell. Delicious. Go to the
burp.
No burp. 0 carbs, 0 calories, 0 burps. Go to the description in the show on your podcast catcher or on our YouTube. And we also are sponsored by Audible, our longest sponsor. Audible has all sorts of audiobooks, whatever you're interested, everything from Shakespeare to smut. Do you have a recommendation today, Nicole?
I'm still working on the Brandon Sanderson saga. It starts with Mistborn, and it's a trilogy. So,
because you had a suggestion last week.
Yeah, it's the same book.
Yeah, but I just finished the Rob Halford's autobiography from Judas Priest, and I've got Steve Jones's autobiography and some hypnosis packs for self-improvement that I've got to get to. But you can get any of that for free and access to all of the Audible originals. Just go to audibletrial.com/DMS, audibletrial.com/DMS, and you get a free book, a free 30-day trial, access to hundreds of Audible originals. And if you're in LA, go to Doomy's Home Cooking like Nicole and I did. 2 weeks ago. How jealous were you, Hannah, when you saw the video of us?
Extremely jealous. Very, very jealous. It's been way
We'll
too
have to
long.
bring Hannah next time.
Yeah, I'm coming down. I get my second dose. I'm coming down and joining you guys.
Okay, great. And the nachos, how were the nachos, Nicole?
They were really good. They're bigger than I remembered. That was a lot of nachos.
Nachos were named one of the 10 best nachos in LA by the LA Weekly. The only one without meat. It's a vegan restaurant. You would never know. We took Amazon Eve there. You would never know it was vegan.
Oh, yeah, I've been there before.
And the flautas, they were huge. They've got the Mex. They have the regular. I had a shrimp po' boy, delicious. 1253 Vine Street if you're in LA. And there's one in Culver City and one in Toronto, Canada. Eve, how has your quarantine been the last year?
It's been rough, Mark.
I can imagine.
I'm going to be honest with you. It's been rough for me. I moved out of Los Angeles, as you know. I moved way up north.
Join the club.
I got out. Oh, yeah. Where are you at now?
I'm in LA, but everybody's moving from LA. I just saw a couple people talking about going to Austin. Austin
I
is
went
LA.
I went back to visit, and I saw the homeless camps, and I said, thank God I moved away. I was living with someone, and I don't want to talk about the relationship, but we broke up right before the lockdown. So I got isolated, so I had to learn to do something. So I learned how to be a dungeon master again. So I became a dungeon master.
Tell.
Yes, I do it right. I enjoy the work.
How are you able to do that?
I run somewhere between 8 to 12 games a week, depending.
Oh, the dungeon master. Oh, I thought you meant a real dungeon master like Dominatrix. You mean like Dungeons and Dragons dungeon master?
Oh yeah, full on geek, nerd, all of it. That was me. 1979. I'm a lifer.
I would like to be my dungeon master. I'd play with you.
Yeah, no. I'm not kink shaming, but just I have my own following of Oompa Loompa Sans, the orange skin and green knickers.
Yeah. See, I was. That's what I thought, because I was like, how do you become a dungeon master and have guys in your dungeon during quarantine? But no, you're playing Dungeons and Dragons online. I'm assuming with you're not having all the Oompa Loompas over for a board game night. You're
we could do some fun things on that bed. I think we should make this. Okay.
I can imagine. Don't tell me.
Oh, I don't know. That little soft mattress. It's almost like we could have our own little side business. Do what do we call that? You were seeing BDSM. Have a little side section for it. I remember the shows. If we go back in time, some of the fun things that we've done.
Oh, we will. But before we do, I'm curious. What size bed do you have?
Oh, I have a super queen. It's longer.
Oh, okay. I was wondering. So king would be too small lengthwise.
Unless it's a California king.
A king would be perfect.
Oh, okay. So, so you've been playing Dungeons and Dragons for the last 12 months.
Almost,
dominating
yes.
men virtually.
Well, I would just say that I'm the referee of the game. I'm still producing. I'm still. I've got something out on TLC I did with Jody recently.
Jody,
my co-star.
Oh, okay.
There's a little clip of us going shopping.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
Yeah.
I can't wait to see that. Well, Hannah, what was your reaction the first time you met Amazon Eve?
Me? I was just
Hannah here. I think you.
Yeah. Of course,
you
I'm.
were there the first time.
Of course, American Horror Story is one of my top favorite shows, and I was in awe, and then even more so that you were just so kind and down to earth and a sweetheart, and you were funny. It was wonderful. It's a memory that will be burned into my mind until I'm in my 80s.
Oh, thank you.
Were you surprised that I knew somebody this famous and cool?
Not at all, because you're pretty cool yourself, and a lot of people love you, Mark.
Okay, well, Nicole, what was your first impression when you met? It was your first show, the first show that you hosted. Was that?
I think it was, yeah. I was going to say the picture is somewhere. I remember it because she showed up completely head to toe covered in green, and then she wrestled you.
And it was very competitive.
That was Sig. We had Sig Neutron.
Yeah.
And Ronnie Rodil were on the show as well.
Like, it was great energy.
Randy was there, and they painted me to be She-Hulk, and I had my this really cool black trench coat and asymmetrical fedora. It was really a cool episode. That was fun.
Yeah, it was.
I've been trying to get Sig and Randy on again. Sig, obviously, from Face Off. Randy, you've seen her at all the conventions. I've been trying to get them back on for a while, and it seems like there's a lot to talk about with them. But Hannah, who was on the show with Eve the first time you saw her? You met her.
We had someone that
I think I was just fixated on Eve. I don't remember her.
We had a wrestling match. I remember that.
Well, that was 2 years ago on our 6th anniversary, which was a great show.
Are you sure we didn't wrestle? Are you sure we didn't like?
You guys wrestled the night I
go to the match.
No, we wrestled when Nicole was on. When Sig was on, we wrestled, and I thought that I had settled the.
It was before that.
Before that, no. Well, first time
I wasn't wearing the green. I was when
first time you were on was with Josie Cat.
Yes.
And you were on with our friend Danny Danger, formerly known as Tesla Coil.
Okay.
And you tased her.
The electric torture.
Yes, you tased her with a taser, and then we there's something I don't know what it is. Maybe Hannah and Nicole can describe it because they've both seen it. There's something very funny when you and I wrestle. I don't know what it is, but even I watch it, and even if you watch it on YouTube, you can barely see it because the camera's going everywhere or it's static and not quite on us. But it's just funny.
Yeah, I agree.
But why is it funny, Nicole? I don't know what it is. Is it just, is it just our body types? Is it?
Yeah, it's because she's tall, but you're built like a lineman. So like it's funny watching how you two interact because you have two different fighting styles or wrestling styles.
You're stronger than I. Would you agree with that, Hannah?
I agree definitely with Nicole, and also because we both know you on a personal level, it's cute. Yeah, to see you two play around.
I seem to wrestle women a few times on the show. Which is fine. But yeah, I wish I researched this the first time that Eve was on with you, Hannah. But I know that it's been a few times. We had you on with conservative icon Joy Villa. That was a terrific show. We had you on with 2 years ago was the last time I wrestled you on our 6th anniversary.
Pulled off one of the most amazing marketing coups you have ever seen.
I would think so, and I thought I could parlay that, but you were calling me up the next day, like, me and Joy. That's we could. You're not marketing this right. Millions and millions of people have to see us together. I'm like, I'm trying. I didn't have Nicole doing my social media then, so that's what the problem was. But anyway, so I watched Tamir Strain the other night.
What did you think? What do you think about the story?
Tamir Strain. Well, it's weird watching that story now because it's basically about a pandemic and somebody trying to cure it, and corrupt corporations either getting in the way or trying to focus him away from saving his family, which seems to be his one goal. And you are the evil henchman woman.
It was. I enjoyed that outfit. I wore that outfit with the green paint, so I enjoyed that.
I thought it was a very good movie. I recommend it. I think people should watch it, especially now. I think if I watched it when it came out, I don't think I would have got the resonance that I got when I watched it now. Would you ever think that would come true?
What?
2 years later? You were in a pandemic.
Sorry, would you repeat that,
2 years
please?
later, it was a pandemic?
Well, the movie's not about a pandemic. It's about the kids have a genetic defect, and the father, played brilliantly by Henry Ian Cusack, crosses the line in in order to save his kids, to save his family. So there's that turning of the screw story that really pushes the envelope. And I'm very fortunate that I got to be a part of it.
And how did
It's
you
really good.
How did you get to be a part of it?
It was right after, oh my God, hold on for a moment. It was right after American Horror Story. Literally, the morning I had to leave on a plane to go to London after our last day of shooting. I had to do this audition. And I did it. A week later, I got a call back and they offered me the role.
That's great.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
How many other 6'8" women were there that you were auditioning with?
I have no idea. We recorded and sent it in. So I have a studio in my home, so that's why I get to do that.
Or was this another of your auditions which you had before, where it was you and a bunch of 7-foot guys?
Oh no, that's how I got the job at American Horror Story. I dressed up like a guy. I took my glasses off and bound myself and wore a big flannel shirt and looked like a lumberjack and walked in there and lowered my voice and did the part. And then when I was done, took the binders off, went, okay, very good, I'm relaxed.
Well, you didn't have any
and then they
binders.
rewrote the role for me. So that's that story.
Yeah, nice. I think it was the same trench coat that we wrestled in that you were wearing in this movie.
Did I take off? Did I think I took the trench coat off?
No, you did before we wrestled, but you were wearing that day.
Yes. Well, that was a fun episode. That was a good time.
That was.
I've got to travel. I've got to do lots of little which we call expeditions to far off lands. Went all over Europe. Went all over the middle. I went all over Asia. I did a movie on the island of Bali.
Ooh.
Right. I was telling Hannah about that. Hannah, did you watch Dead Squad?
I did watch part of it, yes.
Isn't it awesome?
It is. Very awesome.
Yeah, I'm there's a scene in that that's just sort of very shocking.
Yes. Yes, there was.
Your first appearance comes out of nowhere.
No spoilers. You have to go see it. So
I
I'm waiting.
Spoil that.
I'm waiting for that one clip to get pulled out, and that's the one that's going to go viral.
But no, we're watching the movie, and it's funny because you don't appear until at least halfway through the movie. And I know Nicole and I were like, "This is really funny. This is really good. This is really scary." It was all at once. But where's
It was a really good film. Like, I came home and immediately started promoting it.
God, thank you. I had a lot of fun making it.
It was a really.
That's
fun
one of those
movie,
must watch on. That must be in your lineup for Halloween movies.
Well, it's on Tubi, so I recommend and by the way, Tubi rules.
It's free.
I got to figure out how to get this show on Tubi. I'm gonna write Tubi because I always promote Tubi, but Dead Squad is on Tubi now, the streaming platform. So
okay,
you can watch it, and I recommend it. Not only Nicole and myself, because we went to the premiere thanks to you, and thank you again, but Sigmund and Randy Rodell, who know horror, they work in horror. All four of us were outside talking, and we're like, that was better than we thought.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know. I'm very proud.
I get invited to premieres. And you're glad your friend has work, but honestly, most of them, this one I was like, this is great.
Yeah, when we went to the premiere,
I got sick. I had this. They call it Bali belly.
Oh.
Yes, and the 3 days that I had off, I stayed in my hotel room with a terrible stomach ache.
Oh, ouch.
Yeah, so I survived that. And
yeah.
Guy Tal and my co-star, we went off to the jungle and went on a what we call a river rafting down these sheer. It was just the most beautiful moment of my life. It was a nice recovery day since I didn't get to go see a lot of museums. I didn't get to go do a lot of things.
Yeah.
And then I shot my last few scenes. I I did the long way to the airport. Stopped off at a few places, got a few photographs, saying, "Okay, someday you'll come back here."
Now, how long did it take to get you made up to play the character that you play?
That was it took 4 hours to create it. Then it was about 2 hours in, about 45 minutes out. They could take it off in about 45 minutes.
Wow, how was that?
Christopher Redmond was my makeup artist, and he was fantastic. Especially the exposed brains.
Yeah, your costume looks so good. I don't want to spoil anything, but they do a really good job using actual physical effects versus CGI, and I think that's what makes it so good.
Yeah, I love the old school horror films versus the CGI because there's just so much love and hard work and dedication put into that makeup.
You all saw John Carpenter's The Thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a masterpiece right there. That one goes down. And it's too bad that it did get the same kind of airplay that E.T. It was competing with E.T. at the time. And
I think he made his money by now.
Because the public wanted the softer, more kind alien. They didn't want the take over the world alien. So it later on, because VHS came out, and that's how it took off. Little film history for you.
Well, and DVD and streaming and all sorts of things.
Cult following now.
Yeah, I mean, he's made his money back.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm just trying to picture you sitting in a chair for 4 hours still. I don't know if I could do that.
Oh, I had fun. It was paradise.
It's such a ball of energy. I can't think of you sitting in a chair for 4 hours doing nothing.
Oh, no, I kept myself busy. I had co-stars.
I'll bet.
Conan Stevens. Yes. One of my co-stars was 6'10". No, he was 7 foot. And boy, he was fun to work with. He played one of the monsters.
See,
we got zombie kinky. That's all I'm going to say.
As Nicole and Hannah know, and our audience probably knows, you have to be so tall to ride the ride. Would you say 6'6" is the limit, or 6'5"? What do you think? Or not even that short? You have to be 6'.
I'm gonna go with the Catwoman. I'm adaptable.
Oh, really? Okay. But not like 5'10" or anything like that.
Well, I'm not going to talk about height. I don't think I make relationships with everyone.
Okay. All right. And Hannah.
I mean, okay. Compatibility wise, I mean, we could always talk about the Chihuahua humping a Great Dane story.
My grandpa brings that up all the time. He's like, the Chihuahua needs a step ladder.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've got a step ladder.
Yeah, I'd like to transcend that. And
the thing we were talking about that we're not going to spoil in the movie, size doesn't matter. It's all about how you work it.
How's that true, Nicole? Seriously.
Why has not
not
been pulled off, and why has not that clip been thrown out in the internet yet? I'm still waiting for that to happen. I'm going, no. It's Swedish.
It's taking all of my discipline not to make so many jokes about it too, because I don't want to spoil it. But I have so many jokes in my head right now.
Right. Hannah, now you're a guest now too. You're not
questions about that scene. Does anybody have any questions about that scene? And can they ask it without spoiling it?
No.
You have to watch.
How was it filming that scene?
Honestly, you looked very empowered. Like the way you worked it, like you were definitely like a strong woman in that scene,
It looked like you'd done it before.
Sorry.
Well, I got lots of practice with smaller men, so no, there was a bit of voyeurism, a bit of tender society building, so to speak.
Was that Tinder or Tender?
Tender.
Tender. Okay. Now here's the thing. I didn't know this when I met you. I've only known this really for just the last year. I've really gotten to know this. I didn't know there was such a gigantic fetish thing where there's actually stuff on like Pornhub and other sites that I would never go to, like X videos and Spank Bang, that are guys that
They have one called
giants. There's Spank Bang. There's all sorts of. Anyway, I've heard of these sites where there's actually videos of women being giants and crushing men under their feet, and this is what guys jerk off to.
Oh yes.
And I guess you that's old school. That's old hat for you.
Let's just say I was very popular in that circle.
I don't get it. I get being with a strong, powerful woman, but hey, you're 1 foot tall and I'm 8 foot tall. I'm gonna crush you by foot.
Well,
what is that?
It allowed me to travel a little bit, and I enjoyed myself.
No, I'm glad. I'm glad. But what's the turn out for the man?
Your question, I had this guy that I liked, and he wasn't responding. And then I later found out he was interested in like a 7-foot vampire warrioress or something like that is what he called it, to dominate him. And like there are people like you to step on their balls and stuff like that. So
I know that.
Amazonian women.
Wrestle. Box.
Yes.
But this guy's literally fantasizing about being like 15-foot tall women.
Put over knee, spank.
Well, I get that. And Hannah just took off her jacket just as if on cue. I still think Hannah...
No, it's just hot in my room.
Oh, yeah, I know it's hot here. But I still, and I've been trying to ever since you were a host and the first time we had S&M people on the show, trying to get you to be a dominatrix. And and you always seem to
Nikki, are you
really
the dominatrix type?
I don't think I'm really I don't know. I guess I like to be in control in some situations.
Okay.
But you've enjoyed watching women spank guys on the show and things like that.
Oh yeah, they deserve it.
Especially myself.
See, you deserve this.
Yeah.
Now, I was listening to Vegans Uncensored today.
There's so this one guy, I didn't expect it to go this way, but he's like, "Will you whip me?" And I go, "Okay, I don't know. I've never whipped anyone before." This is at Bar Sinister in the Sanctuary. So we go upstairs, and he's walking me through it, like so excited. I don't know what I'm doing because there's a whole technique to whipping. So it was. I'm definitely not the dominatrix type. I like to get spanked, and one of the guys I'm seeing uses this little whip on me. It's very small, kind of my tail. But I'm definitely not.
Really?
Yeah, I'm not the one that wants to be doing the whipping or the ball smashing or they kiss my boots. I'm the one that wants to be the submissive.
The ball smashing is strange. I will admit.
It is such a thing, though. People.
I kicked the guy in the balls with my spiked heels because he wanted me to do it repeatedly. And I had one too many drinks at Bar Sinister, and I was like, "All right, pow."
How many times did you kick him?
I went to 3, and then I said, "Okay, I'm going to stop now."
Now it's getting weird.
Yeah.
Right.
Was he bleeding?
No. He had his pants on.
Well, I understand, but yeah.
No, I don't know if he was bleeding.
It's Bar Sinister, so he was wearing black pants. So, but
yeah, exactly. It was dark in there, so.
That's another thing. How do you get aroused getting kicked in the balls? Because then your balls hurt. You can't get a hard on. I don't get it.
Masochist? I don't know.
I saw at a Nikki lipstick one, this guy getting his testicles stapled. The sack was getting stapled, or was it nailed? It was something with the gun.
I was at one of those episodes where he hung something from.
Oh, we had Joe Kilmeister lift a weight with his
that was hard to watch.
Yeah, Joe Kilmeister, he did the whole pulling stuff with it. The Dangerous D staples his for $100.
Yeah, he scrotum to his leg.
Yeah,
that's what that's one of the things I learned in Freak Show is there's all this sideshow act stuff that is attached to it that goes into the macabre. It's amazing. I mean, stuff like putting nails in your head.
Oh yeah.
Your nose.
Yeah. Well, Morg does that stuff with the whole Egyptian nose thing and the.
Oh yeah. No, one of the highlights of the Dark Mark show was when we had Dangerous D and we had another sideshow guy, they had a tug of war. This made the engineer pass out. They had a tug of war where Dangerous D had carabiners in his ears.
Ugh.
Oh.
It was Houdini was the other one, and he had fish hooks in his eyelids.
Ugh.
And they had a tug of war barefoot on broken glass.
Not for me.
And
Eyeballs, not for me. Anything with eyeballs, no.
at the end of the show, the engineer at Skid Row Studios passed out.
I don't blame the engineer for passing out.
And Nicole wouldn't watch it. Nicole, you were there for that show.
I know. I
Ready,
avoided
blood?
it. It's too much for me.
Like, I don't want the ambulance to come.
I just got the new COVID vaccine, the first dose, and I'm always scared of needles. But it was like so fast. It was like it didn't even. It was just like a prick.
Yeah, you didn't.
Like,
I didn't feel it at all. I was like, wait, what? They're like, go sit down for 15 minutes, and I snuck away. I'm like,
I loved it too. I didn't have any side effects. My arm was like a little sore there, but nothing.
Only like pressed on it pretty hard.
What I was gonna say though is waiting for that shot though, the 30 minutes I'm in line, I'm full of like anticipation in a negative way, you know, like, oh no, needles. And so when you talk about this body stuff, it's just like, oh, it just makes me cringe already without even seeing it.
All right. Well, I wanted to see what Hannah's been up to the last month. I know, but yeah, because I listened to. By the way, Erica, Eve, Nicole, Hannah has a new podcast.
Oh.
Yeah, that's honestly part of the reason she's not on this podcast on a weekly basis. But Vegans Uncensored with our mutual friend Mary Zaint. And I listened to it today, and it was very, very good. Now you're on YouTube because there are a lot of Zoom episodes this last year that you did not show up on camera.
Right.
You thought you didn't look good on camera.
Right.
When we had your birthday show, and you finally watched the show on TV because you have a streaming TV now, and you're like, wow, I'm not that bad looking on YouTube.
That or I have to pop a Xanax. I don't know. Something works.
So now Vegans Uncensored is going to be video and audio so they can see how cute you and Mary are. Mary
is very cute, and she just, her hair, everything, her personality, her smile, she's beautiful.
Yes. Does she still have that boyfriend or no?
Not that I know of, no.
Okay. No, I've had a big crush on. It's no secret. I've told her myself. I've had the biggest crush on her for years, but
yeah,
I don't think that's ever going to be required because Hannah, I've known her for like over 12 years. Hannah met her a couple of years ago. She's like, I know this person knows you, and then she's like, oh, I told her I know you, and she said he's really nice, and then she wrote, he's so nice. Like, oh, I don't have any shot whatsoever, right? And you're like, doesn't look like it.
Say, that's not true. Like the guy that I was hanging out with yesterday, I told him he was really nice, and then he got nervous about being called nice. Guys think that nice is bad, but I like nice.
I hate the N-word. I hate it. I'd rather be called the other N-word. At least I know that's an insult. But Hannah, am I embellishing anything at all? I have no chance, right?
I wouldn't say you would never have a chance. I mean, there's always a chance.
It's like the Jim Carrey.
You never know. You never know what's going to happen.
Yeah,
1 in a million. So anyway, the show today I was listening to that just dropped was the two of you. It was like you better eat before the show because it's the two of you just talking food, and vegan food the whole time.
And then we go eat after. We're like, what are you making?
It's like
yeah.
So you were talking about the vegan breakfast, and apparently Wiener Schnitzel is going to have vegan hot dogs now.
Yeah, I'm not going to try it, but Mary's free too. So I'm very snobby when it comes to I don't want contamination with my food. That's why I don't go to fast food places. But she doesn't mind it. She's not as crazy about it as I am. So, she'll get a review up soon. And Pete's Coffee came out with a vegan egg and Beyond sausage sandwich with the coffee. So Starbucks, they really need to get on it.
Well, here's what I was surprised at. because I've known you for 3 years. You hosted the show for so long,
Mhm.
and I had no idea you were so into coffee. I've never seen you drink coffee in my life.
Well, yeah, that, and since the pandemic, I actually quit partying. So what else is there to do? Become a coffee snob.
That's true.
Yeah.
Now, we've had tea a lot from Bohemian Tea Parlor.
I have a bunch of tea.
Studio.
Yeah.
But you're like, the whole show is like coffee, 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 vegan food, vegan food, vegan food, coffee, 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 vegan food. And Mary seemed a lot more excited about the vegan hot dogs than you did.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Eve, this is the 8th anniversary. It was April 1st, 2013 at the John Lovitz Club at Universal Studios, where we had our first show with Bree Walker, the anchor woman, Susan McIntosh, who was a transsexual comedian, and Michael Vile, the magician, who's been on. And I got everybody
Michael
drunk
is
and
one of the
absent.
best humans ever. Huge shout out to Michael Vile. You should follow him online at
Agreed.
Michael Vile.
Yes.
He's one of the best people I know in town.
Not a shabby magician. Anyway, he performed at Hannah's birthday party.
Yeah,
Now,
he was great.
I had I had some absinthe and got everybody tanked, including my first co-host, Hell's Bell, and wherever you are, hi. So it was quite a drunken mess. If it's still on YouTube. So Nicole, let me ask, what was your favorite show of the years that you've been hosting? And your favorite guest besides Eve?
Well, I got a couple of them that immediately came to mind. So the two shows that immediately come to mind, and both of them have fire. And actually, there's two shows for Dr. Orpheus at the same time. I liked the Christmas one with Santa and the Firegasm. And then I also liked the first time that we had Dr. Orpheus. So is it Doctor or Mr.? It's Doctor, right?
Orpheus Black. He doesn't have a doctorate yet.
Okay. Anyway, or I'm making him sound like a supervillain. Then I'm sorry.
Orpheus Black, the professional dom.
Yes.
Great.
He works with fire a lot, and so there was that one, and then there was the one with Sin Fisted and Tommy Ray for 4th of July. That one was really one. And then there's also the one with Amazon Eve. Always stood out with me because Sig Neutron was on there too, and so was Randy. And so just that whole episode was just great because you had such great energy with all three of us put together, all three of them plus us put together. So those are my favorite shows. That
would equal 5. And the one that you're referring to, now Orpheus would play with fire every time he was on the show, but the one time I remember.
I was the one with Cupcake, by the way. There's the Christmas one and the one with Cupcake.
Cupcake was great, but we also had him on with Bobby Brown, the actress from the Cherry Pie video, and she. I was thinking of her because I just watched.
Well, that was Christmas, right?
What's that?
Santa was too. That was Christmas.
Santa wasn't there. No, you're mistaken. Okay. Santa was there with Kitten.TV Dodd, but it was at.
There we go. I was sorry. My bad.
It was at Jeremy Hansen's apartment, which he turned into We Play Studios, trying to be. He was trying to get the Skid Row Studios extended, so we did a couple shows there, 3 shows actually, which were all great. Kitten.TV Dodd and Santa Claus. So you got to sit on Santa's lap. We got Bobby Brown and Orpheus Black, and I just watched the Steel Panther video. She's tight, and Bobby Brown's in it, so that's why I was thinking of it. But she got really weirded out when Orpheus started setting his wife on fire, and she was having orgasms on Jeremy's couch while I was trying to interview her. And then we also had
fire was being rubbed up and down her body suggestively, and she got off on it, like literally.
And he did it on your leg. Did you get off?
No, but I appreciate it. I like fire. Like I love when I was wearing, or she was wearing like these. Sin Fisted was wearing these things, and she grind her nipples, and then there were sparks between us, and then I just think fire's cool.
Yeah,
like
Sin Twisted. She shot sparks from her metal bra, and James Brown's wife is Tommy Ray, and she sang on the show with Martin McNeil, who's also a great singer-songwriter.
That was so good. The pictures from really good too.
These are all in the archives, and then of course there's a 3rd-year anniversary that we did at Jeremy's house with the heavy metal singer Otep and our friend who also plays the fire, Arabian MK.
Yes.
And she set Otep's hand on fire, and she's still using pictures of that on her promotion.
That's
But
true.
those great memories. Hannah, what are your favorite shows and your favorite guests?
Wow, my favorite show was Killmeister and Dangerous D.
Where you
They
went to
are
the,
just a
Wait,
blast
Eve.
together. It's wild.
Well, Amazon Eve was there too.
Yeah, yes, you were.
What?
Amazon made 2 of our favorite episodes. Amazon Eve is a trendsetter.
There you go.
There you go.
There you go.
Also, I would have to say the last show we did in the studio on Halloween where I met Clive. So
Cleve.
Oh yeah.
Cleve. I'm sorry, Cleve. Yeah, that was a great show. That was a great night to follow. Also, Orpheus, when I met him and he set a young lady on fire, made her feel very comfortable. She stripped down. That was remarkable to see.
And he
I mean,
walked you
there's
to your
like
car and you
tons of
guys talked for
shows.
an hour.
What was that?
He walked you to your car and you guys talked for like an hour.
We did. Yeah, I was going through a terrible breakup, and he, you know, he's a good guy. He says the right things, and he's right. So, yeah, gave me a little therapy session.
He's a nice guy. I like him.
Yeah, he is.
He's a nice guy, but he also plays with fire and he knows how to choke
He
women.
never gets burned, Mark. He never gets burned.
And Eve, what was your
Oh.
favorite? Go ahead. I'm sorry, Hannah.
Oh, yeah. I also want. I believe his name was Damien. He ate the light bulbs. Sword Swallower. He just got married. He's having a baby.
No,
Oh
very
my
nice.
God.
Sideshow Psy.
Hmm?
You mean Sideshow Psy?
Yes. Yes.
Yes. And Eve, what was your favorite moment on the show? Besides
Oh,
right now,
Sig.
it's great.
Sig and Randy.
Sig and Randy, that's what I thought.
That was my fave.
And
I
Because
want us to
that outfit works. It's my superhero outfit. It just works.
I still
I
remember.
loved the green makeup, and I loved our banter, and I loved how much fun it was. It was just such a great time.
Yeah, you
The
guys were
whole
so
ride over. We
good.
should have recorded the ride over.
we should have recorded the party that we went to at Sig's house. That was so much fun.
Oh yes,
So, and you've kept in touch with Sig and Randy, I'm assuming.
of course.
And so, yeah, that was a great. But all these shows are on YouTube. They're also on audio. But yeah, I just remember. I remember the first time you were on, and I remember it was. Well, I remember the first time I met you, which was at a Dumpy Comedy Club doing open mic comedy. And
Oh
and
my
I said,
God, how many years? That's almost how long?
it's 8 years ago, or not? It was 7 years ago.
Was 7 years ago?
7 years ago, because it was
Ron
2015.
Swallow. Ron Swallow was the guy that was running it.
Ron Swallow at the Liquid Zoo, and I said, "This is somebody I need to interview on my show." And then when I dug into you, I was like, "Wow!" And this is before you were on American Horror Story. And I was going to ask. I finally saw Apocalypse, and you were terrific as usual. I wish we could have stayed.
I think they could have used your character more. I liked your character. It didn't get fully defined, and I think it should have stuck around longer.
I agree.
We're all in agreement, but
It's American Horror Story. People die.
It's true.
It's
what
what
I was going to say, and we touched on this last time you were on, but I didn't know that you and Kathy Bates basically were joined at the hip, and really you were with her most. You were basically her protector.
Oh yeah,
That
was a good time.
Yeah, what is it like hanging out with Kathy Bates and acting with Kathy Bates, who's one of our finest actors ever?
It's a master class, but it's also friendship. So I always have to remember that personal bond that we created was also present in our characterizations on camera. So it was enjoyable. And there's a lot that goes on, and she's such a joy to work with. She's such a light. And I'm very fortunate to be able to do that. And especially Ryan's genius and what they put together.
So it wasn't just me. You guys really got to be friends, because It really, you could tell it's something you can, as great an actor as Kathy Bates is, you can't really fake it.
Oh, we gelled.
Yeah.
Good chemistry.
That's
So
awesome.
that to me would be the
I was her
actor of
heavy.
the show I would do.
Primary heavy, so my job. I love that first scene where I get to wrestle with your own.
Well, I've got a couple pitches for you, Eve.
Got
And
it.
one's American Horror Story, and one is a non-American Horror Story.
Okay.
American Horror Story, Kathy and Eve. Build it around you and Kathy Bates, the two of you. And all the other characters, Evan Peters, Sarah Paulson, or Lady Gaga, whoever they want, they're all on the periphery, but it's all about you two. Maybe your sisters, maybe your mother and daughter, maybe your lovers. I don't know, but I would watch so much of just the two of you.
I'd probably watch that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Ryan Murphy. And the thing is, I know you wanted to do She-Hulk, and they cast somebody else as She-Hulk who was probably at least a foot tall.
You have a window to do She-Hulk. Your career is to do She-Hulk. You have to be at a certain age and a certain fitness level. And my time was a little bit before then. It was like just before they were doing, and there was a mistake. Or it's not a mistake. It's when they did the cartoon, Universal owned the rights to She-Hulk, so that's why you didn't see She-Hulk in any of the Marvel movies. She's in the Avengers series.
Right.
Oh.
So they can later on, but
just I know you want to do She-Hulk, but
food for thought.
I was thinking about this today, and I don't know if it's a movie or a TV show, but this is what I see in you, and I think it would be great.
What's that?
I see you as like a James Bond. Amazon Eve.
No, not the James part.
No. What I'm saying is, like Jennifer Lawrence played a spy, and Angelina Jolie played a spy, Charlize Theron played a spy. You as a James Bond type of character, seducing men, seducing women, fighting men, just suave, sophisticated, somebody that's been an agent and knows the ins and outs, but can really kick ass and seduce anybody that they want.
If the right role shows up, that's a possibility. I've been enjoying my time behind the camera being a producer.
Okay, well, I'll after I finish with Nicole's trip, which will probably be 2025, I'll get on. And it's funny because we've already got somebody who wants to score it. We have somebody who wants to produce it. I just have to finish writing it. But once we get that done, then I'll work on that. So, I can't believe how fast this has gone, and that's because
I just the clock.
It's Zoom, and we've all been
what time is it?
For each other.
Oh my god!
It is 7:56.
And as all of you know, that's when you know a show's good when it guy like that. But I did want to acknowledge a few things. First off, I just want to say my favorite show with Amazon Eve, although the Sig Dutron and Randy show is great, my favorite show was the first one in 2014. It took a while to convince you to come on, but when we had you on with was I on before American Horror Story? I think it was. It was before American Horror Story. Yeah,
it had to be because I was from June on. I was not in Los Angeles anymore. I was working in New Orleans. Totally engrossed, totally focused, and I would have no time for it.
It was just sheer luck, fate, and magic that we got to know each other, and we got to have you on the show so many times, and I got to wrestle you. But it was you, Danny Danger, formerly known as Tesla Coil, and Josie's ex-boyfriend, whose name escapes me, but he was a great guy and very interesting. And he was a drummer, and you got to tase Danny Danger, and then we got to wrestle.
Yeah, I remember that.
Which was very impromptu, and I've never heard people laugh so hard in my life. And Nestor Rodriguez, who used to do the show after us, he was in the booth with Simon, Jeremy, and they were just going crazy. And this is at Skid Row Studios where you had room to wrestle. And I did tap out, but it was a very competitive match. That was one of my favorite shows. We did a lot of shows at Skid Row Studios where the next show would come in. They just sit in the booth, watch us electrocute people, set people on fire, spank people, and do all sorts of things. And hopefully we get in the studio again. But I did want to acknowledge, because Hannah said this, Cleve Hall's passing. Cleve Hall, who you know is Monster Man, passed away, I guess, yesterday. And do you know Cleve Hall, Eve?
I've only met him once, maybe twice. I met him when we did that comedy special. Can't remember where. It's in Burbank.
Yeah, he just did everything. And what's interesting about Hannah meeting him is Hannah was trying to get him on like forever, and then we had him on, and Hannah couldn't make it the first time, and then I was like, well,
sorry to hear that.
What's that?
I'm so sorry to hear that.
Oh, I thought you knew.
I did not know.
Oh, I'm so sorry. But Hannah, so I'm like, Hannah, how long have you known Cleve? She's like, I never met him, but you met him on the show, and we've all seen him at the clubs. I mean, he's somebody you could not miss.
Yeah, he's definitely someone I've seen around town. I never got to know him though.
He was very kind. We struck up a friendship, and he would send me different photos of art that he's been a part of, and we would talk, and he was just so gentle and so kind. And I was just going over all of our messages today.
Wow.
And it's so it's a big loss because the guy not only was a staple in the goth community here in LA, but the guy was one of the nicest people you ever meet, and he will be missed, as will Big Liam Breunle, who was on our show a couple years ago. Eve, did you know Liam?
No, I don't remember Liam.
Liam was a comedian, and he died a couple years ago. He was on our show, and of course, the patron saint of the Dark Mark show, the late great Clownalyn Monroe. And that was another highlight that we had.
It was when she had the sock puppet, and we had the one caller named Tyrone.
Right. I knew you. I was hoping you would remember that. We were at Skid Row Studios with Clownalyn Monroe and Ian Salmon, the great comic, and Nessa Rodriguez, the great comic. And we had somebody call in, but they were calling in for the wrong show. They were calling in for like a hip hop show, and his name was Tyrone. And it was like, the five of us maniacs in the studio. He couldn't comprehend what was going on. It's like, is she cute? I'm like, she's wearing a red nose. She's got pink hair. It's so good. Once again, that's on YouTube as well. So a lot of memories.
You got to put a picture of that in this so I can see what she looks like.
I will send you a picture of her. Absolutely.
It's a cute picture. It's a very cute picture.
I will send you
one of my favorite profile photos that you have put up.
I will send you the picture that everybody loves of us kissing the last great Valentine's Day I ever had.
Aww.
But So I was trying to think if there's anybody else that's been on the show that's passed away, and luckily I don't think there has been. So
let's not have any more. Please,
which is pretty amazing, because we had Tom Dreesen on last year, who was 81 years old, and this year we had Jimmy Angel, the rockabilly singer, who was 85 years old. So we're skewing older now.
Yeah.
So Eve, what are you producing? What do you have going on? Please tell us. And it's always great to talk to you. I wish it wasn't on Zoom, because I've interrupted you like 10 times, and I apologize to all your fans already, because they're going to jump down my throat, and I didn't mean to do that. It's just there's a delay.
Oh, that's okay. I'm going back to school too, and just to keep myself sharp and learn some new skills. I'm working on some feature films right now, and I'm the executive producer, so I will give you guys more details about those as I'm able to release them. So I've got a good slate of films I'm working on. I've got one out there right now called Smothered, and I got to work with Jason Stewart, and that was something him and his partner wrote, and it's called Smothered. You can see it out there. You can find it on my IMDb. And
what is Smothered about?
I think Nick Cara, I think, is the other actor. had a good time with that. I had to do an autograph signing in Indianapolis, and then I flew to Pittsburgh to shoot a little thing with TLC, and you can see that. I've got that pinned on my Twitter account, so you can see that at Amazon Eve. It's a little cute little shot of us going shopping in a baby store in Pittsburgh.
Oh, really?
Oh, yes.
You're not pregnant, are you?
No!
I don't know.
Mark,
Baby clothes.
Jody is a liter bottle size, so she has to shop in baby stores.
Oh,
So-
okay.
Yeah. What?
Ah, even virtually, I get my ass kicked. Oh, and
Yeah.
and
So we found a store that has fashions in her size that are adult, that aren't baby looking.
Mhm.
so the best place to find you is on Twitter at Amazon Eve.
Currently, that's where I'm at right now. I've been kind of staying off the internet and just retweeting there's a lot of politics that are going on, and it's best
Thank God we
that
didn't talk about any of it.
Huh?
Thank God we didn't talk about any of it.
Yeah, I want to stay away from politics. Politics
Yeah, me
are
too.
really getting too ugly right now, and
On both
I know-
sides, it's just really ugly, and I can't stand it because at the end of the day, whatever our political views are, we're all human beings.
Yeah.
And you know what? Rather than yell at each other, let's try to get together. But what am I? Who am I to say? Nicole's already going into some sort of Zen pose. So and I know you have to go very quickly, so
I just got a text message. My ride is here. I might have to leave you guys early.
Oh, okay.
all right, guys.
Nicole 6 books on Instagram.
Yes.
And Nicole, thanks for being on today, and thanks for being our co-host. And next week,
Mark, we've had so many fun times together. How would I ever miss the anniversary show? You matter so much to me, and I know we're going to produce a great screenplay, and I just can't wait to finish that with you.
Thank you,
All right, everyone. Have a good night.
Be
Bye.
safe.
Nicole 6 books, and Hannah. I guess you're the co-host again.
Oh, yay! It's good to be back.
You, me, and Eve. So tell everybody. By the way, what is that? What is that magazine cover that keeps flashing?
Oh, I'll just put it up there for you. I was the Grand Marshal at Cincinnati Pride during marriage equality.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah. Yes, that was a fun time. I gave a big speech in front of thousands and thousands of people. It was fun.
Right. And Hannah, tell everybody what you have going on. Oh, by the way, you know about Hannah's boyfriend?
My boyfriend Josh, he's awesome. That's what you need to know.
All right.
But besides Vegans Uncensored, I'm actually working with the Neurofibromatosis Network. May is NF Awareness Month. I wrote my story, my struggles mentally and physically, which was very hard, and it's being brought to Washington and it's going to be shared. So, yeah.
That's
so I'm
correct.
working with them, and then hopefully there'll be more good news to come. We're still in the process of doing some other things with them. And then, of course, Vegans Uncensored.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I just found out her boyfriend did soft porn at one time. So
Yeah, technically I'm dating a porn star. Look at me. Oh.
she's very much in love, and it's been a year, and he's a good guy. I actually approve.
You know what's crazy? Our 1-year anniversary is June 30th, and that was my grandfather's wife, my grandmother's birthday. So it's kind of a wild coincidence.
See, he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
So I was going to ask both of you, and I was going to ask Nicole, but she's got to get going.
I got to get going soon too, hon.
I know. I'm getting a haircut, and what should I do with my hair and my beard, color and cut wise?
I would go with the Attenborough look. Remember that?
Yes, you call me Santa Claus and Richard Attenborough.
No. Go. What was it? Jurassic Park, the first one.
I know who Richard Attenborough is. I know who he is.
The white suit
Ooh.
Try that. I want to see that with dark highlights, with like something with, make the black very specific, like in the cane or the tie.
Okay, so I got to find some goth dinosaurs in Gandhi, apparently. Hannah, what were you going to say?
The way I saw you the other day, I think your hair and your beard and everything is just, it's perfect.
Okay. Well, I'm going to completely change it up because I have been getting compliments, but it's too long for me. I can't consistently maintain this. And the worst was when I had long hair and people said I look like either the wrestler Mankind or Bruce Valanche, which neither one is the look that I'm going for. But
Mankind. These kids don't even know who Mankind is. No, I'm just kidding.
No. When I do the joke at a club, I say, some of you are laughing and some of you don't live in the trailer and fuck your sister. So I'll tell you who he is, and then I say he's the guy that's so hideous he has to wear a mask, and his finishing move is not a wrestling move, but take a dirty sweat sock and shove it down the guy's throat. And apparently, that's what I look like with long hair.
No, you do not.
Did I send you a picture when I had long hair?
How long was it?
It was long.
Send me a photo. Send me a photo.
I'll dig it up.
Okay.
Anyway, Eve, are you going to make any more surprise appearances in American Horror Story in the future?
If I do, I can't tell you until it comes out. You know the rule.
I'm waiting.
That's exciting. That's exactly the answer I wanted to hear.
I can't tell you. It's like
October was terrible.
We did the same thing last time during Apocalypse. It's just I can't tell you.
That's what I'm saying. It's not in the answer. It's in the inflection.
It's in the inflection.
Watch American Horror Story. You'll never know who might show up. And before we go, I just wanted to say, I have to ask you this. Did you read the online buzz when you came back and how people were so glad to see you back?
I did see that.
And how did that
I was glad. I'm one of those that have been not shying a little away from fame and the fans because sometimes it's overwhelming and I have to carve out a little privacy. I've learned a lot from working with Jessica Lange, and she's very, very private. So I keep I know I hear the fans, and I love the fans. I try not to follow that because there's also a negative element out there that I have to be just stay focused.
There must be
wear blinkers. Stay focused. It is. It's good to hear it.
The hardcore horror story fans leapt out of their seats when they saw you were back.
So what do you? There's a little quick fight scene that I have in that. What did you guys think of that?
I thought it was pretty cool. It needed to be longer though. We needed more of you.
Well, most fights like that don't last long. I wanted to put the baton in there, so I did the disarm and then Krav Maga.
That's true.
It was pretty realistic. You just screened them. And the last thing I'm going to say, and this is something that came out of the show, and this is going to bring everything full circle. I mentioned it last time you were on, but I'm going to mention it again. Is that our mutual friend Danny Danger, Tesla Coil, who I've mentioned numerous times, and I do recommend you watch the show on YouTube because it's great. Hannah, have you ever watched that show?
Danny Danger? I don't believe so.
I'll send you the link. Watch this show. You will enjoy it. But she lives in Germany now. And a couple of years ago, well, she's the one. I mean, I don't want to get political, but you know how everybody's like, if Trump is elected president, I'm leaving, and nobody left. She actually did it, so good for her. But
she left.
Yeah, she's got commitment. But she had a friend in Germany that left an abusive relationship, and they were talking, and she's like, I got the strength to leave this abusive relationship because I'm a big fan of Amazon Eve on American Horror Story. And what a strong woman!
You told me about that story.
I forwarded you the message from Danny.
Yes,
and I had the strength to leave because I'm such a big fan of Amazon Eve, and it made Danny tear up. Made me tear up when I read it too. And she's like, "I know her, I met her, and she's so cool, and we met on my show. So if nothing else has come out of my show in the 8 years, I'm glad that came out of it. That you.
Well, I'm very, very, very grateful for that story. Thank you for sharing it.
You
Mark,
helped somebody, and Danny Danger was there to help her find a better life, and her to find inspiration from you. You've inspired me, and there's been a lot of guests that inspired me, and I've met some amazing people in this 8 years, from getting drunk with magicians and anchor people to last week in our show with the amazing Lily Hayden. So,
Yes.
Eve, I love you, and I hope
Love you too.
I hope to see you soon. I hope to see you in person soon. And
We'll see.
we'll see. Okay, well, I'll never see you again, but virtually we'll see each other. And I'll work on that secret agent script.
There you go.
You know,
And Mark,
if James Bond is 007, you'll have to be at least.
you're his boss. You're the one that tells him what to do.
Yeah,
in
you'll be.
headquarters.
Yeah.
I want to get in the big boss fight.
060. So you want to be M? Okay. What were you gonna say, Hannah?
No.
I was
I
gonna
want to be
say,
the-
Mark, you have done so much. Oh, I'm sorry. What was that?
Go ahead, Eve. Eve, then Hannah. Okay, Hannah, you were gonna say something?
I was gonna say you've done a lot in this show. You have connected so many people. You have had people have their first experience with things, and just you're an amazing person. And your show has changed so many lives and has built so many beautiful friendships. You should be very proud of yourself.
Thank you for that. I appreciate it.
Yes. Thank you, Hannah. And next week, finally, Clowns return, because we will have the director of Clown Motel 2, and Lillian Sin, who will be dressing as a clown. So everybody have a wonderfully creepy week. Bye.
Bye.